Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. I'm just a pauper, I need no sympathy, 'cause I'm easy come, easy go, little high, little low. Anywhere the wind blows doesn't really matter to me, to me. Mama, I just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pull my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun, and now I've gone and thrown it all away. Mama, didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on, carry on. Nothing really matters. It's too late, my time has come. Send shivers down my spine, body's aching all the time. Goodbye, everybody, I've got to go. Gotta leave it all behind and face the truth. Mama, I don't wanna die. I sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. Carry on, nothing really matters. I see a little silhouette of a man. Can we do the fandango? Thunderbolts of lightning, very, very frightening. Be Galileo, Galileo, Galileo Figaro. Spare him his life from this monstrosity. Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, let him go. Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me, for me, for me. So you think you can stop me and spit in my eye?
Boo. And we are live. Yeah, nothing really matters, I guess, right? As Queen would have said, Mr. Mercury himself. Not the biggest fan, if even a fan, to be honest, of Freddie Mercury, but I felt that cover was rather fitting, to be honest, with what we're covering tonight. So, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you may be. I am here indeed. Where am I? Da-da! I'm in full bot form tonight, right? Hopefully, we can get a bit of a sound check. I do apologise for being late. Not like me to be late, right? So, yeah, I am sorry. But, technology, right, we'll go with that because I put together a video and it was too big I had to share it as a file on StreamYard, but it kept lagging and fucking lagging, so I thought, no, we'll scrap that, right? So I tried to break it down and I had issues with that as well. So we'll run with it. I have got some of the video. We'll get into that in a bit. What I will do is, because I'm late, I'll try not hang around and mess about, but it happens. Hello to John, good to see you back again. Omni Mummy, yeah, my good friend, great to see you. Fantastic, good to have you tonight. JP as well, Brian the Hood, great stuff. I seen Frank, always good comments from our brother Frank, right, in the Hood. I can't even see that. Does it say cold? I think it says cold steel. My eyesight's terrible. What have you done to your name? We'll go with that. Hello to you. Tony in the Hood as well. Jojo Gizmo, Scott's Armour, fantastic. I got your message today, I think, and sent you one back on Telegram, so I look forward to working with Scott's Armour. Get subscribed if not already. Jojo Gizmo as well. Hopefully everyone's having a good new year, right? Lynn Jones, my good friend from America, who I was speaking to recently. Good to have you. Tonight we're going to be touching on, the Metaverse, right? The escape from reality. That's what it's like, basically. The world around us is, without beating about the bush, it's fucking falling apart. It really is. And it's not by accident, it's by design, at least in my opinion anyway. Hello to Diane, good to have you tonight, but we'll get into it a bit more. I do apologise if I missed anyone, but I think I did, because there's so many comments. So Ruth as well, my good friend Ruth from America. Good to have you on board tonight. I think relatively, if you can say it, relatively new subscribers, so good to have you. Someone did put a comment. It's not often that I mention them, but I do. And they asked me if I could stop swearing. Now, I don't know. I'm not the kind of guy who likes to be told what to do. But yeah, I guess I can try, but I am Scottish, and we do live in a grim world, and that's being polite. So it can come out from time to time, so I do apologise. So I'll try my best, but I'm likely to forget, and then it just comes out. It's natural to me, unfortunately. But to be honest, I do understand. Sometimes, even me, and this is coming from me, sometimes I've watched different streams and I thought, the swearing's a bit much. It can be a bit off-putting, I guess. So, I'll try my best. I'm not making any promises. But, I will try, right? So there you go. So hello to everyone. Good to have you. We will jump back to the comments as well, eventually, right? We'll get rid of me a sec. Let me think. We'll just kind of get right into it. Let me see. Is the audio alright? Did anyone get back to me? I think it must be because no one said it's bad, right? So we'll go with it. I think it's alright. Hello to everyone. I'm going to try and keep an eye on the chat when and if I can. But I'm not the best when it comes to multitasking, right? Or being on time. So I do apologise for being late. Audio's good, thank you. JP, good man. A regular, good to have you back. So clearly at the moment the Metaverse is... everyone's sort of kind of speaking about it because of, Facebook. It's still called Facebook, of course, but the company changed to Meta, right? And I think it was this year, actually, that they made the switch, if you like. And of course, it's all about the Metaverse. I think when it comes to the Metaverse, it's nothing new, really. And we will touch on that. It's not Mark Zuckerberg's idea. Let's just get that out the way. Really the same as Facebook. It wasn't Mark Zuckerberg's idea. If you think that Mark Zuckerberg invented Facebook, you've got a lot to learn. And to be frank, you would fucking believe anything if you do believe that. I question if the guy's even human, to be honest. I know it sounds crazy, but we might get into him, I'm not sure. I had to edit the video that I'm going to show in a bit because the BBC are absolute bastards when it comes to copyright, so I'm hoping that I avoided it. So basically Facebook have brought the Metaverse to everyone's minds at the moment. It's all about it. It's fucking everywhere at the moment, to be honest. This is their logos here. The Meta. I made this cover myself today. I was quite impressed with it, if I do say so myself. I spent more time on the cover than anything else. And as always, we had trouble before I got set up. But we got there in the end, and we are here, right? And we continue to fight, no matter what. No matter what they pull. And the world might be fucking falling apart, and they may offer up a solution. But it won't be, and we don't want it. We'll stay and fight against whatever, and whatever is to come in the future, whatever it may be, right? Whatever they pull, we fight back no matter what. We never bend, we never break, and that is for sure. So, the Metaverse. This is from Facebook at the moment. If you go on, it's telling you all about Meta. Connection is evolving. And so are we. Hip hip hooray, right? The Metaverse is the next evolution of social connection. Right. Our company's vision is to help bring the Metaverse to life. So we are changing our name to reflect our commitment to this future. Right. Sorry, wait. Commitment to this future? What future is that exactly? The future of the world living in this Metaverse where Facebook is basically getting it kick-started, but it's nothing new, as we will see as we go on. So they're gonna change the way they work to fit the coming future, and they're gonna be committed to it. I guess we should be grateful, right, for wee Zuckerberg, the fucking android, if there ever was one. I've swore already. There you go. I should get a wee swearing jar and put a coin in. I'll be a fucking millionaire by the end of it. There you go. I will try my best, right? I can't promise anything. So, the Metaverse will be social, right? So, people are going to think, well, that's great, right? People like to socialise. Well, they did anyway. Not so much today, right? 3D spaces in the Metaverse will let you socialise, learn, collaborate and play in ways that go beyond what we can imagine. Wow. So they're selling it like it's basically the next best thing. God's fucking gift, if you like. I've swore again. There you go. But of course it's not. And it won't be. It's not good news in my opinion when it comes to the Metaverse. Anything that involves Mark Zuckerberg or the Facebook entity. it's going to be bad news. Of course, we know about Facebook started off as LifeLog, I think, a CIA sort of entity, and that is likely what it still is. Let's face it, they don't fool anyone, but of course they do, unfortunately. So that is why kind of it's at the forefront at the very moment. In about it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago anyway, right? I'm unsure. The time at the moment, yeah, it's gone. I'm still at the moment kind of a day ahead of myself. I don't know if that's ever going to change. I'm stuck in the future, it looks like. But I think about 3 weeks ago I came across this video on BBC News Click. Let's get rid of this a sec, right? Let's see if I can work it. What we'll do. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the whole of the video to come on, or to fucking work or upload. Another coin in the jar. There'll be a few tonight, so we'll kind of start it from where I got it from and then take it from there. I think it's going to be in 2 parts, right? And we might discuss it a wee bit as well, in between and after. And then we're going to cover a few different books that have came out in the past. Not in too much depth, of course. It is That's Life, but not as we know it. But we will have a look. I think books that go as far back as the 40s in terms of virtual reality. Look a wee bit at the history as well. In a sec, but we'll begin with this for the time being, if I can work it right. So let me see. Right, I'll get rid of me and then I'll put the video on, right?
Next level is Mark Chislak, who's been asking where all this could go next. And the answer, of course, is the Metaverse.
So, what actually is the Metaverse? Well, if we think of the internet as something that we look at, the Metaverse is a version of the internet that we're inside. The idea is that we will experience the Metaverse as an avatar, a virtual version of ourselves that we control as we explore this new online frontier. But what will we actually do in here? Whoa!
I'd say there are examples of the metaverse already. If you look at some video games, for instance, they are, digital worlds that you can interact with as an avatar. I'd see the metaverse as an extension of technologies that we currently have. I think a lot of people see the future metaverse as expanding on that experience to include not just gaming, but maybe things like a digital workspace or digital events, digital socializing.
But maybe things like a digital workspace or digital events, digital socializing.
Andrew Bosworth is from Meta, the company formerly known as Facebook. The tech giant says it's transforming itself from a social media company into a metaverse company. We spoke using Oculus virtual reality headsets, appearing as avatars inside software designed for virtual meetings called workrooms. Okay, so Boz, here we are in what might be considered a representation of what the metaverse could be.
Yeah, for us, the metaverse is a spatial construct, as opposed to the previous web, which was really a very linear kind of 2D flat thing. We want this one to be immersive, something that you could, were you so inclined, really experience in an embodied way. Now, of course, it doesn't mean it has to be virtual reality. It could also just be on a phone or on a desktop computer.
You might have noticed that we're using the tools of the metaverse to create a good portion of this item. My avatar has been created by a couple of companies, Ready Player Me and Oz. They already create tools for people to make avatars from a photo.
They already create tools for people to make avatars from a photo.
It's this virtual version of us which will travel between online experiences in any metaverse. Bosworth believes new online economies will spring up around these pixelated people.
And then over time, what I'm most excited about is an economy there. And I mean, economy not just of digital goods, sure, and entertainment, that's great, but also services. In an immersive environment, I'm going to have an avatar. I'm going to need a stylist. I'm going to have a home space. I'm going to need a decorator. I'm going to invite my friends over to my home space.
I'm going to invite my friends over to my home space.
Now, in the contemporary online experience, there's a lot of online hatred out there, a lot of online abuse and misinformation and things of that nature. How are you going to avoid those kind of experiences seeping into a metaverse?
Yeah, so one of the things that's interesting about metaverse experiences is that we imagine them being real time. Do you really want the system or a person standing by listening in? Probably not. I don't. That feels like a real violation of privacy. But if the conversation's happening in real time, then how can we modify content without listening? And so I think we have a privacy trade-off against, if you want to have a high degree of content safety.
And so I think we have a privacy trade-off against, if you want to have a high degree of content safety,
or what we would call integrity. Well, that trades off against privacy. But I do think that we're going to have, as a society, a lot of hard conversations ahead of us around the trade-offs between privacy, content, and interoperability.
Yeah, the more time we spend in these digital worlds, the more data about ourselves we may be giving up. And obviously that is a privacy concern, especially if you're going from one domain to another. Maybe you're going from a digital work zone to a digital gaming zone. Do you want the same identity to be associated with both? There's calls that maybe you would have to verify your identity. And match that to your avatar so that people know who you are. But that in itself raises a whole bunch of privacy concerns. Maybe not everyone would be comfortable doing that.
Microsoft has adapted its workplace meeting software Teams for the metaverse by creating a system called Mesh. It's designed to work with a variety of different devices, including virtual and augmented reality. AR, as it's known, projects graphics on top of the real world using headsets like Microsoft's HoloLens or mobile phones. But after nearly 2 years of lockdowns and meetings with friends, family and colleagues via video call, is now the right time for an idea like this one? There's quite a few people that have got fatigued by having to have video chat meetings and things of that nature, and that they realise they now crave human contact.
Human communication is about 5% speech, is about 95% everything else. I've been in my living room with the entire team around the table, right? Making eye contact, where all the gestures are coming into the right place. And I can touch that digital object. And instead of having a person next to me having a walking one-on-one, I can have the avatar version of that person one-on-one next to me. So it changes completely the call it the screen fatigue we're feeling today.
The next piece of the metaverse puzzle isn't just about seeing these virtual worlds, but feeling them as well. Work on haptics or force feedback, the ability to touch and feel while inside a virtual space, has been going on for years now. The artist formerly known as Facebook, Meta, has revealed that it's been working on a glove that will let the user feel sensations like holding an object. The glove has a number of sensors that measure the wearer's movements, and air pockets across the glove surface inflate to create sensation. These gloves aren't quite ready for prime time yet, but they're an indicator of the kind of research that's going on behind the scenes. The big question, though, is will people embrace this new vision for our online lives?
I think it depends on the specific application. We've seen in gaming, lots of people really do enjoy those experiences. They use avatars, they interact with the world in that way. Would you want to sit in a virtual office as an avatar? I'm less sold on that idea.
It seems the metaverse is coming, but its success rests solely in our hands.
Hello and welcome to the Week in Tech. It was the week Instagram said sorry for wrongly disabling the account of artist at Metaverse for a month. It's since been restored. IBM and Samsung unveil vertical transistors on a semiconductor. Why is this interesting? Stacking more transistors on a chip could one day extend phone battery life. And Meta has opened its VR space Horizon Worlds to Quest app users over 18 in the US and Canada. The Metaverse has gained a notable real-world interest as clothing giant Nike has bought a company that makes virtual sneakers. Clothing giant Nike has bought a company that makes virtual sneakers. RTFKT, pronounced Artifact, is an NFT studio that, alongside footwear, builds other digital collectible items. A research lab is making polymer lenses in parabolic freefall flights which simulate weightlessness. It looks fun, doesn't it? Omer Luria led the research on this method, which could help manufacture cheap glasses for the billions of us who need to correct our vision. The mixture is usually dropped into a mould, suspended in fluid, so the lens can take shape before being cured by UV light. And finally, even though it's around 93 million miles away, the sun is no longer outside of humanity's reach, as NASA's spacecraft Parker Solar Probe has been confirmed to have touched the sun. The craft, launched in 2018, first flew through the corona, the sun's atmosphere, in April, but the data has only just been confirmed. Been there, sun that.
Now, we had a jolly good time earlier at the V&A Museum, didn't we?
Oh, we did. I felt like I saw art and I felt like I was in art.
Indeed. Well, if we are all going to be sucked into the metaverse, then we're going to need to populate it with realistic looking people.
At the moment, I'm not sure whether I want my avatar to be of me, a completely fake version of me, or a photorealistic me. Neither are Mark Zuckerberg and his mates, but at least you and I already have a few versions of ourselves on file.
We certainly have. Well, as we mentioned earlier, the dancer inside the Sonzai experience was very real, and she was recorded not using motion capture but using volumetric capture, something that we've seen before on Click, most notably when Mark was
I don't know if I got it
dance that
it's kind of far away.
Yes, he was very pleased with himself.
But anyway, this technology is different.
See, the planes are very
It
small.
doesn't turn you into an avatar or an alien. It captures what you actually look like and what you're wearing on the day.
I don't know about you, but I do think augmented reality is pretty much there now, which means in the future the 3D sculptures that you see around you might not actually be in the room. In the future, the 3D sculptures that you see around you might not actually be in the room.
True, it's not quite the same though, is it? You can't touch it. Not that you can touch
No,
that,
for
obviously.
goodness sake. Don't touch it, we'll all be in trouble. Listen, there's one thing about AR they still have to sort though.
What's that?
It's the AR groove and the AR hair.
Oh no, I haven't still got that mark on my forehead, have
my
I?
hair's all over the place. Once you've sorted that, we're in. Anyway, that is it from us, from the V&A in London.
So, I thought that was a wee bit of an insight at least into this metaverse. Of course, I had to edit the video quite a bit. It's a pity because there was a bit at the very start that you didn't get to see, where the lady and the gentleman that are the presenters of the programme, they're in the VR world. And they're having lots of fun, of course, right? It's great, it's wonderful. Then she takes it off and she's like, oh, this is life shit. I want to go back into the VR world where it's great and people put it on and they genuinely feel happiness. And of course, it's nothing out the blue. It's nothing new. It's basically a solution that is offered up to the sheep because they cannot face reality. It's pretty much as simple as that. They cannot face it, not at the moment, and not in the future. But with the metaverse, it's an escape, and that's where they'll go. Not only that, it's where they can work. It's where they can meet their friends. socialise, what they call socialise. And of course work, and they've even got companies like it said. Of course companies like Nike, right? As evil as they come, satanic to their fucking absolute roots. Of course they would be pushing it. That's what they get used for. And they're already investing in virtual clothing. I've missed out on something there. I need to make some of that, right? And yeah, the news clip about the, I don't know, spaceship that touched the sun. Yeah, okay, it touched the sun. Oh man, I practically fell off my chair when I heard that. But yeah, seemingly it touched the sun and it left in about 2018. Right, so it must have been travelling quite fast. But yeah, seemingly it touched the sun. So NASA said. We've just got to take NASA's word for it. Speaking of NASA, I think the next live that I do will be on NASA. Oh man, it's so funny. What was it? You know, NASA, they don't just claim to make technology. They also help out when it comes to medical treatment. Would you believe it, right? Good old NASA, the medical agency. I thought it was a space agency. No, they're a technology agency. And medical technology agency. That's pretty much it. And of course, they help with geoengineering. In terms of space, not so much. But yeah, they've got quite a number of different wee inventions that they've came up with seemingly in the past. Good old NASA. One of them cracked me up. I'm not even really sure why, to be honest, but you know, if you've got is it prosthetic leg, a fake limb, NASA invented a foam that you could fill it up, and it was like a weightless foam. So yeah, like expanding foam. Yeah, I think that's been used for a long time, but seemingly this is super light. I guess they added more air to it, right? How about just not filling it up? And if it breaks, get a new one, right? It's not real anyway. But yeah, NASA invented this foam. So there you go. Oh, hail NASA. What an invention, right? Expanding foam that's super light. Apart from that, yeah, there is quite a few different things in terms of seemingly what they've invented medical wise. Even when it comes to diabetes, which was news to me until I found out about it. So I think maybe getting ahead of ourselves here, but maybe Friday we might do a live on good old NASA, right? But at the moment we'll stick a wee bit with the Metaverse. So hello, good evening to everyone that's in the chat. Lots of people, too many for me to keep up. So hello to everyone. I really do struggle to keep up with comments, so I do apologise, but I do try and keep an eye out. Yeah, make sure you've got one of them on tonight. You'll need it. What was the one? The meme? I'd rather a tinfoil hat than a heart condition. We all know what that is. I better watch. I'd be on thin ice. Well, we are on thin ice. I'm on the 2 strikes. So we're going to avoid any juice talk. To be honest, we've exhausted it. Practically exhausted it over time. We've called it out for everything that is happening at the moment when it comes to the juice, and I'm afraid to say it's not fucking good news. I'd be lying if I said any different. So what we'll do, good evening to everyone. Good to see lots of people in the chat, right? We will get back to the chat in a bit. Let's quickly go to, well, I'll screen share. That would help, right? Is my daughter going to disturb me? I am babysitting. Well, I'm not allowed to call it babysitting. If my wife hears me calling it babysitting, I'm in trouble. You can't call it babysitting. It's your own kids. Well, what do I call it then? Minding? Life? Sitting? I don't know. Offspring sitting, I guess. We'll go with that. So we might get an interruption or two. Knowing my daughter, she does like to disturb me when I'm doing a live. Let me see. Screen share. We'll go with that. We'll see if it works, right? Hopefully it does. And the audio's alright at least. Am I going to need audio? I don't think I will. To be honest. So I thought, let's make it bigger. I thought maybe a quick look at history. At the Franklin Institute, the go-to for all you need to know, right? I'm sure these guys are, very trustworthy. Let's go with that. But let's have a look at what they've got to say. History of virtual reality. Today's virtual reality technologies built upon ideas that date back to the 1800s. So, some of you may recall it. Right? Almost to the very beginning of practical photography in 1838, the first stereoscope was invented using twin mirrors to project a single image. Right. That eventually developed into the Viewmaster, patented in 1939 and still produced today. That guy's made a few quid then, eh? He'll be rolling in it. If he's still here. The use of the term virtual reality, however, was first used in the mid-1980s. And that was by Jaron Lanier. We'll go with that. I don't know of that guy, but I think it might be worth checking him out. So, in the future, we might get back to it, right? Seemingly the founder of VPL Research began to develop the gear, including goggles and gloves, needed to experience what he called, quote, virtual reality, close quote. So, the sort of virtual reality thought goes back to the 1800s, seemingly, right? And it's been used throughout in different forms of technology. And today, it's almost, I guess, at an end game with it, where it's a virtual world that you can step into and live basically your whole life, working, fucking you name it. Going to a restaurant, sitting down and having something to eat, and meeting a friend. I mean, it's not a place I want to be in. It's not something I want to be doing. But I can see the sheep fucking lapping it up, hook, line, and sinker. Not only that, loving it, pushing it. As always, the doting human, we basically walk right into it. We won't get too much into history. But it does date back, it's nothing new. It's been in the pipeline clearly now for quite a long time, right? This book here, Virtual Realism. Michael Heim, we'll go with that. Is it Heim? We'll go with Heim. 1998 is when that came out. Or was it 1944? I'm unsure now. We'll go with 1998, right? With that one. This is the archive, well, one of the archives that I look into. I'd advise people, if you ever are looking into different things, look into public archives. The Internet Archive is quite a good one. You'll find quite a lot, I can assure you. You might be there a while looking into different things. It's I guess a rabbit hole once you get into it. So what's this book about? In an attempt to fashion a new way of linking the limits of technology as it stands currently with the way humans live, the author has come up with the concept of, quote, virtual realism, close quote. He shows how humans can harmonise with the new technologies. Just in sync with the technology. Hip hip hooray, right? Remember we all got together and said yeah, this is what we want to do. This is what we want the future to be, where we in sync and harmonise with technology. Because that's the way it's fucking going. I mean, that's without even touching on people like Musk and the fucking brain chip, or the Neuralink, whatever you want to call it. That is in full swing at the moment as well. So that one, I think, we're going to go with 1990... What did we say? 1998. Right? Let me see if I can make it a bit bigger, because I should have the ability, right? Can I make it not big? So yeah, I mean, what does that guy look like? Oh man, I don't even want to say. I mean, what's this here? He's got an extended belly button. They forgot to cut his cord. Oh man, we'll go with that, right? I don't know if you can see it. I guess you can. It's that big. Well, long at least. His head kind of looks like a hammer. Yeah, hammerhead. Virtual reality. There you go. With, yeah, interesting features. Let's go with that. Let's get back to that bitty, if I can. What have I done? I fucked that up. I always... Oh man, why is it? It's going to be teeny now. I don't know what I've done. I've ruined it! There we go, I think that's it. No. What have I done? Honestly. See, it does show you quite a lot. Well, sometimes part of the book. You can borrow it when you create an account. You can borrow books for an hour. I think if you maybe paid for an account, you could get them. The whole book. So, I mean, if that's anything anyone fancies what have I done now? Looking into, then I would advise it. We'll leave that one for the time being, right? We might come back to it. Quite an interesting one. 2007. This guy. System Shock. It looks like a comic. Yeah, comic book. Yeah, 2007. Not that long ago, really. But, I don't know. It looks like it's from the 80s. I don't know what it is. It seems like stuff between about 1990, the early 90s, and 2010. There's not much of a difference, but we seem to have came a long way, which is interesting and kind of confusing, right? Stuff just looks old when you look back on it. Have we got a preview here? What have I done? Quote, in the distant future, Daniel bloody Jack Daniels, innit? In the distant future, Daniel, Jack and Gemma even find themselves trapped in a virtual reality world. Dun, dun, dun. If they don't find a way out soon, they are in danger of being erased forever. Fucking hell, quick run for the hills, right? Oh wait, it's a virtual world. Yeah. I mean, people will become that in... what's the word I'm looking for? Integrated with it. It will become basically their real world. The world that we know. That'll, to them at least, it'll become a thing of the past. They won't want to hear it. They won't want to see it. We're practically already there. But in my opinion, it's going to be tenfold. Come at least 2030. It's going to be like a different world completely. It won't be, of course, but they change the perception that people have, at least the masses. They manipulate how they think. And I've said it before. The world that they paint today to us, it will not be the world that they paint in time to come. I fucking shit you not. I might be going out on a limb, but it won't be. in my opinion at least. And it's happening before our eyes. We will get back to that as well, because I think there is a connection in terms of what they call the world being a simulation, right? And I've got a video to show you from that as well, so we'll get back to that. I think it could be connected. I could be wrong, I could be well off the mark, but I think there is a connection there. 2003 virtual reality. Science on the edge. Yeah, on the edge of fucking humanity. Discusses the history, present uses, and future of the technology of virtual reality. The evolution of virtual reality, today's virtual reality, looking forward to the future. Yeah, that they have fucking manipulated and created, but that no one wants. We don't want it. No one asked for it. But we're going to get it. They're going to roll it out. It's already in progress, let's face it. It'll all be connected, of course, to what they're going to call smart cities, I guess. That's the way it's heading, right? Everything's going to be hooked up to this mesh, this grid. Everything, every fucking item, even maybe your cup for your cup of coffee or whatever it is that floats your boat. Physical items, including human beings. Right? So how are they gonna hook up a human being to the metaverse, to this mesh? How are they gonna manage that in the future? Answers on a postcard, right? We'll go with that. I think 2007 again. The virtual tabloid that witnessed the dawn of the metaverse. What, in 2007? But Zuckerberg just invented it, right? Wee Mark Zuckerberg, the wee college guy who invented Facebook. Oh man, it cracks me up, it really does. Honestly, who am I to burst anyone's bubble, right? But yeah, the guy that invented Facebook, sure he did. Now he's invented the metaverse. There you go. But I seen that there, Second Life Herald. Yeah, Second Life. That's what they're making it out to be. But of course, like I just touched on, a lot of the sheep, it will become their first life. The switch is in motion. The sheep will lap it up, lock, stock and barrel. I kid you not, if not already. And it will be basically painted as their second life, which will become the only life that they care about. I guess they'll have their wee drones dropping off their rations, Soylent Green. In the future, a wee drone firing it through your bloody window. Pew! There you go, hitting them on the head. Poof! That's the only time they ever come to, and then quickly they'll eat it in seconds, and then of course they'll jump back to their second life, which is of course their real life. Well, what they think is their real life, and they won't want to know any different. Interesting wee hand logo there as well. I thought hopefully you can see it from that article. I think the Telegraph, I'm unsure. Let me see. I'm unsure. A British tabloid. We'll go with that, right? Of course, yeah. They all see an eye. And I don't know. I don't know if you get away with calling that a spiral. But definitely an all-seeing eye there. If I've ever seen one. Not that I'm an expert on symbolism, but I have been about the block for a wee bit. Yeah, we covered that one. How did he get in there? Twice. Oh man, I fucked up there. There you go. One of these days we'll get it right. And I swore again. I do apologise, right? I need a bleeper to push when I think I'm going to swear. But I'm doing not too bad, right? Maybe not, but I feel like I'm on a roll with not swearing. A new me. There you go. But yeah, this one here. 2008. Again, mention of a second life. Hip hip hooray. All hail the second life. I guess in the second life, you live forever, right? They'll want that. That's what they'll want. They'll think that they're going to live forever in the metaverse, and it's been in the pipeline for many years. I shouldn't laugh, but it's pretty clear to see, and we're only touching on it briefly tonight. We will be back to it again, but this is only the beginning in terms of us covering it. Many people have probably done a better job at covering it than me even. I'm not an expert on anything. I'm just a guy with genuine concerns, especially for the future. I don't want a future where my kid doesn't want to go outside, even maybe as an adult, or maybe even can't go outside because of, I don't know, regulations, new laws. I don't want him then spending his days in a virtual reality, wasting away, thinking that that's life. I'm sorry, but hey, it's not. And it's not the way it should be. And if I've got any say in it, it won't be. That's for sure. I almost swore there, but I didn't. The anger creeping in. It's not a future I want, I'm afraid. But it's coming. It is coming, if not already. What is this one? If it appears. Hopefully we're still going. Let me check. Oh, fuck. Yeah. We're still going. I can't see what's going on at the moment. I'm hoping we're all good in the hood, right? Where are we now? 2012. A book this time, I believe. Yeah, 2012. Information Science Reference. Excuse me. Virtual worlds and metaverse platforms? Wait a minute. 2012? Zuckerberg's just stole that idea, right? He stole it from this fucking book here, by the looks of it. Yeah. Could be quite an interesting one, that. All the structure for it's already laid out. Well and truly in advance. That's how the agenda roll, if you like. Yeah. And this book presents... Oh, what have I done? Quote, this book presents foundational research, models, case studies and research results that researchers and scholars can port to their own environments to evolve their own research process and studies, covering scenarios of intellectual disciplines and technological endeavours in which metaverse platforms are currently being used and will be used. Yeah, it's all been planned well and truly ahead of anything that they do today. This might be quite an interesting one. This one here, not a book, but a document, right? A good old document. And who is it? Well, it's the Defence Technical Information Centre. Who are that? Fuck, I don't even know. Who are they, you say? I don't even know. I'm unsure. I think it's an American entity. These dudes here. Can we quickly have a look? I don't want to go too long tonight, but we'll cover what needs to be covered. Certainly looks a bit American to me, so we'll go with that. Yeah, interesting logo. Yeah, defence, right? That's what they do. They defend people. Sure they do. I bet they do. Let's go with that. Hopefully this works. Yeah. What have we got here? As you can see, this document might be quite an interesting one. I might use my hour to get a hold of it. It mentions at the bottom. Can I highlight it? Have I got the capability? Yeah. There ultimately will be grave dangers, but the biological downsides are more apparent today. Right. I wonder what kind of dangers there would be. We might get into that a wee bit more. Let me jump back now. If I've got the capability. I've confused quickly to the comments, right? To say hello. I only want to go about an hour and a half tops, right? So we're almost an hour. I don't want it to be too much. And I don't want to keep people for too long either. Listening to me, right? Go on about the fucking metaverse. Whatever the hell that is. An even faker world than this one? Surely not, that can't be. Yep. So yeah, I can't call it babysitting. I get a row. My wife would not be happy, put it that way. Hello to Jacqueline and Lynn. Scott's Armour, good to still have you. Great stuff. 80s Renaissance, we'll go with that. KC Carnage, good stuff, good to have you in the hood. Diane, JP, Sensum, there you go. Frank, John, Ellery? I don't think I've ever came across the name Ellery. Maybe I have and can't remember, but there you go. A lovely name, there you go. And so is John, right? Quite a common one, John, about these streets. I apologise if I have missed anyone else, but there is quite a lot of comments, interesting as well. I don't think I missed many people, but lots of interesting ones there. And good to see everyone communicating. Brian as well. I've actually got a brother called Brian, who was named. It's a bit unfortunate actually, because my late father's brother, he had a brother called Brian who unfortunately drowned. So when my dad's first son, which was my brother Brian, got named after him. And yeah, look out for my brothers. You've got to, right? You can't choose your family, but you've got to look out for them in the best way that you can. That is if you get on. A lot of people, they simply don't get on, and that can happen. But they can have other friends that are just as good, sometimes even better than family, right? So what I want to show you now is a video that kind of cracked me up a wee bit. It's comical. It really is. It's how can I explain it? It's a bit like a fairy tale. Let me get a drink. That's the only way that I can describe it. A fairy tale. Kerry in the hood as well, there you go. Driving, fucking hell. Oh man, don't look down. You shouldn't listen to anything, in my opinion, when you're driving. I reckon that not even the radio, and not me. I might say something stupid that'll distract you from the road. I done a course on dangerous driving, and oh man, the stuff that they showed you, it was grim. It really was, in terms of using a mobile phone. But they kind of came to the conclusion that any noise whatsoever, fucking, you don't want it in a car. So I don't know. But a lot of people, they can have the radio on and different things, no problem. I think when people are speaking to you, that can be a wee bit different depending on where you are on the road, say a roundabout, and get the road rage maybe. So good to have you, Kerry. Drive safely, right? And a long-term subscriber, a dog named Boo as well. Good to have you. And Lynn, quite a newbie to the That's Life But Not As We Know It clan. So welcome, Lynn, and thank you for all the messages, right? Great stuff. Robert as well. If you want a shout out, quickly put in a comment now and I'll get you if I've missed you before we quickly move on. Those who would give away liberties for perceived security deserve neither liberty or safety. Yeah, I could not agree more. That's what they do. That's what it mentioned as well about being safe in this metaverse. Well, you've got to give up your fucking privacy. Excuse my language, but that's basically what you've got to do. The guy called it a trade-off. You've got to trade your freedom. You've got to hand it over. You've got no privacy. And it's quite shocking, to be honest, the way that it's heading. But people will want it. They do want it already. Not us, of course. We don't want it. Mad Fox, there you go. Mad Fox McCafferty in the house. Good stuff. A regular as well, long-term subscriber. And our brother Frank as well. Good to have you back again. Diane as well, a regular. Always a pleasure to hear from you. I do apologise if I missed anyone. Send some as well. Get subscribed. Hopefully Send Some can link it in. A good channel with great content. Similar with Scott's Armour. Another great channel with good content. I seen that Maxwell, before she was even in jail, she was on fucking suicide watch. Excuse my language, but I thought, oh, here we go. Another disappearing act, I guess you could call it that. Maxwell, of course, from a interesting bloodline again. She won't be in jail. I'm sorry, but that won't happen. She'll be away somewhere else. These people don't go to prison, I'm afraid. Prison is for people like us. People like me, not that I've been there yet, touch wood. I've not been there yet. I don't plan to. But yeah, I'm going to try not to swear tonight. I have tried and yeah, I failed. Oh man, I completely failed. But there you go. I don't think I've been too bad. Some might disagree. Hello to Kerry, good to have you. Think only Jefferson and John Adams, not Freemasons. Yeah, who's not a bloody Mason today? I mean, wow. They've got their claws in so many different things. It's, like in the words of the late, great Bill Cooper, if you want to know who's a Freemason in your town, hang outside the lodge when they're having a meeting, and you'll see them. You'll see them coming in and out. There's one in Elgin, I know exactly where it is. It's crossed my mind, because I bet you any money I could almost predict the people that would walk in and out of it, without a doubt. I guess they have their meetings in a virtual hall now. Oh man, I dread to think of what they get up to. I really do. Honestly, let's not even go there, because it is grim stuff when it comes to these rituals that they participate in. And it is. You won't have to look far to come to that conclusion, without a doubt. I know a lot of people, I mean, you can say, yeah, Freemasons at a low level, they don't understand. Well, how stupid fucking are they then? Because it won't take very long to find out what they're all about. 2 seconds, if that, with technology we've got today. A bit of an information flood, I guess, we've had. I think that's going to come to an end. And to be honest, while we're on that, I think Amazon itself is kind of a modern day book burning. And Amazon was set up by no accident. And that wasn't Jeff Bezos either. I mean, come on, surely people don't believe that, right? That guy's another puppet on a string. Don't buy it for a minute. So yeah, let me... Solar Tech, there you go as well. Good to have you in the hood. Great stuff. There you go. I don't think I missed anyone, but if I did, I do apologise, right? We will jump back in a bit, but what I'm going to show you now is, I guess, yeah, 2 actors. That's what they are. That's what they are. Hey, let's not beat about the bush. They are actors. One of the guys is kind of classed as a scientist or a astronomer, I think. It's not Brian Cox, it's the other guy. Let's get rid of my ugly face. I do apologise, right? So yeah, can you guess who one of the guys is? He once, I'll quote something that he said. He once said that the Earth was pear-shaped. Oh, I can't help but laugh. Honestly, that's what he said. So forget about the globe. No, don't be stupid. It's not a globe, it's a pear. A fucking pear. A pear-shaped. You know what a pear is, right? No, not a pair of them. Nope. We know what all the men were thinking, not a pair of them. A pear, like a fruit. I know a lot of people in Scotland, myself included, don't know what... sometimes don't know what fruit is. But yeah, a pear. So it was pear-shaped, right? That's what he said. So, can we guess? Do people know who the guy is? I think he might have changed his mind about the pear shape, who knows? But this kind of ties in, I believe. Now, I could be wrong. I have been wrong before. I'm the first to hold up my hand. I was wrong once in the 1800s, seemingly. But I think there could be a connection, right? Yeah, some of you might not know who I'm on about, so let's just get him up, right? Where is he? If I can make it work. I think the video itself is about 6 minutes long. So be prepared, right? Let's get rid of me, and then I'll put on the video. Stand by.
I'm waiting for someone to convince me that we don't live in a simulation.
I've heard you say it.
The arguments put forth have been quite convincing to me. And most of the best arguments are traceable to a guy named Nick Bostrom, a philosopher at the University of Oxford.
Okay.
Here's the argument. Ready?
Go ahead.
Our computing power is growing rapidly.
Right.
We create simulations of worlds. We have video games with characters that are inside the video game.
Right.
Imagine a day where you can simulate a world so perfectly with life forms, humans, so well that you can recreate every single neurosynaptic thought you could have, but now you're in the simulation on the computer.
So,
including the perception of free will.
Well, there you have it. Because then, so now you would have enough computing power to imbue the Sims inside of the program with all of the human traits that we possess now.
Correct. Not only our human traits, but the world.
But the world.
The world itself.
Right.
And you don't have to have all the world existing there at all times.
Right.
That might be an unrealistic amount of computing power.
Right.
You just need
enough of the world that they see around them.
That they see around them.
Right.
So you want to start digging, and
that's so funny.
And haven't put the Earth there. There's a flag that goes up in the programmer, and they say, need more Earth. So they put Earth beneath you while you can keep digging.
It's like the Truman Show.
Yeah, well, for example.
Right.
Okay.
Cool.
Or doesn't Minecraft, you can build stuff?
Minecraft.
Right.
Oh, that is Minecraft.
Right. Okay.
God, that guy's a brilliant genius. Okay.
So and we went to the moon. It's okay. Let's make sure the moon is there.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe that's why we can't travel faster than the speed of light. Because if we could, we'd be able to get to another galaxy
before they could program
that galaxy. So much fun.
So the programmer put in that limit.
Put in the limit
because that's the fastest they can get.
We can't program fast enough. So we put in a limiter. The speed of light is a limiter so that you can't get to the next thing before we build it.
All right, so let me finish. That's good.
Go ahead.
That's good, Chuck.
All right.
So let me finish this. So now, So now that world evolves and they develop computing power.
Right.
And they say, we want to play video games.
So now we're going to make a world.
So then they make a world and they have sufficient computing power that they invent to create a whole universe within their computers.
Okay.
And then
they make a world.
And then they make a world all the way on down.
Right.
It could be hundreds, thousands, billions, infinite.
All right. So far, this sounds like it still works.
That's fine. So now close your eyes, throw a dart. Which of these universes are you going to land in? The first one that's real or the gazillion that are not?
Well, yeah.
Just statistically. Okay.
Am I drinking when we're playing this darts game?
Because then you missed entirely
everything. No.
So
yeah,
there's something called Bayesian statistics where you're allowed to introduce information that you already have available to you, even if you didn't measure it to be true. So we establish the likelihood that one day we'll have the power to do this.
Right.
And then that factors into these statistics.
Okay.
So there's 1 in a zillion, you're the real universe, and 999 bazillion to 1 that
you're a simulation.
That convinced me. And I don't want to be convinced. I didn't like it. And I was just begging for somebody to give me an argument that was cogent enough to undermine that entire reasoning. And I just came across one.
Who? Okay.
Okay. It's a good friend of mine, Rich Gott.
All right.
He was a colleague of mine back when I was at Princeton.
All right.
Deep thinker, likes calculating the ends of things.
Nice.
With Bayesian statistics. He's heavily quoted in this book, The Doomsday Calculation. And William Poundstone is a smart guy unto himself. And I am now convinced.
Now you're convinced.
Are you ready?
Okay, go ahead.
What do all these So here is what convinced me we're not in a simulation.
Okay.
Are you seated?
All right. I'm seated.
Are you hold on.
I'm going to hold.
Okay. All right. What do all those simulated universes have in common?
They're simulations.
They have the power to simulate themselves.
That's what I'm saying. They're simulations.
No, they have the power to simulate themselves.
Right. Okay. Yes.
That's what they all have in common.
Make a simulation.
They have that power.
Right. Exactly.
To simulate themselves exactly. Do we have that power now?
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Which means that we can't send it. We can't send ourselves into the future as a simulation
because we don't have that power yet.
So we can't continue the chain.
So either we are the real one,
right,
or we're the one in the chain that's still evolving to try to then make a simulation within their own world.
Right.
So the odds of us being a simulation goes from a gazillion to 1. I mean, to the likelihood of
right.
Gazillion, all right.
It flips.
50-50.
Wow.
And I'm good with that. That changes my life completely.
Yeah.
Okay? And no longer are your kids going to say, Dad, it doesn't matter. We're in a simulation anyway. No, you got an argument. You have a rebuttal.
Exactly.
Now, a quick one.
I have to do my homework.
I go. Ready?
Go ahead.
Maybe these simulators have a side activity where they like reminiscing about days before you could simulate. That would be us.
So now we're Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. We're Pong.
We're classic. Yeah. Classic gameplay.
So maybe we're just entertainment, like a historical exercise.
Right.
That's possible in principle. However, let's look at our own conduct with that regard.
Okay.
All right, think of a movie as a simulation, just for the sake of this conversation. Which it kind of is. Ask yourself, how many movies have been made in a time before we ever knew how to make movies? Relative to movies made in the era where we know how to make movies. You can do the numbers. It's small. Yes,
sure.
the Spartacus, there's the OK Corral.
Three Musketeers.
Those exist.
That type of stuff.
Okay?
Okay.
If we are any measure of the incentives of creating simulations, which all we can do with movies at this point, then they might have some historical but there's way more interesting things and stories to tell in the era of simulations that exist post-simulation.
Right. And yeah.
So even if there are some period pieces that we might be, still most of these would be universes made after they could simulate themselves.
Right.
If our movie-making habits are any indication of anything.
So the chances are we're not a little offshoot, like a little side project.
We could be, just statistically, it's
Probably
not likely.
not. Right.
Because we're throwing darts.
Right.
And most of the stories they're going to simulate are going to be the ones that are in the era of the time they could simulate themselves.
So that still brings us back to we're probably either the first or we're on our way to being the next.
On our way to being the next. That's
Right.
correct.
One or the other.
That's more likely than any other possibility here.
Wow.
And so I can now rest well at night.
So no simulation.
Yeah, I'm good. I think I'm real. I think you're real. I think we're good.
Well, real recognize real. So yes.
Forgot about that expression.
Real recognize real.
Real recognize real.
You got
so
it.
there you go.
Chuck, fist
Yeah.
bump on
Boom,
that.
boom.
Star Talk.
Yeah.
Signing out.
So, they don't recognise Rio. What did anyone get from that, if anything? Talk about a load of BS. Steam of the day. Are we in one? Are we not in one? I kind of got halfway through and thought, yeah, he thinks we're in a simulation. Then at the end, he's like, no, we're not. So what was all that you just said again? Complete and utter nonsense. It really was. I apologise to make you suffer it, but the reason I did is because the guy Tyson is a face for the agenda. They use him, and others of course, to push it forward. So take note of what he's saying, and like I said before, in time to come, in my honest opinion, they will paint the picture of a completely different world that we know of today. But I guess that's life, but not as we know it, right? He said the name. So yeah, I think word salad is a good way to describe it. Yeah, two actors playing Steve, good to see you in the hood, brother, is exactly what I said at the start as well. That's what they are. Two actors. The guy Tyson, that's what he is, completely, nothing more. And he can be hard to listen to, similar to the guy Brian Cox. They just talk absolute fucking nonsense. If they weren't if they weren't pretending to be scientists, they would be politicians, I shit you not. And they would thrive in the political industry, if you want to call it that. In my personal opinion, we are in no way in any form of simulation. The kind of simulation theory, at least I think, is to take us away from the real world, right? And it kind of paints the picture that we're irrelevant, we're nothing. What did the guy say? An experiment. That's what they want us to think, that life has no meaning. But I'm afraid it's wrong. It's the complete opposite. Of course, they're satanic and they invert everything. I shit you not. And it's not in full swing at the moment in terms of the metaverse, but it is well and truly in motion. So yeah, we'll do our best to fight against it, because like I did mention, it's not a future I want. And yeah, they're going to basically create the reality that will become an escape from our true reality, which they are currently destroying. Look out. And yeah, do look up. Never mind, don't look up. Fucking look up. If you haven't noticed already, we're under attack. Serious attack on many, many, many different levels. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but sometimes it has to be said, right? What have we went now? 119. So yeah, I thought I'd share that simulation video. A couple of the only things I got from it is the Truman Show. I mean, there you go. How fitting that he'd mention the Truman Show. What have we been saying for about 2 years now? I think we might be living in the Truman Show. There you go. The moon landing as well. If you notice in the video, when he mentioned the moon landing, he laughed. He said we went to the moon and laughed, because he knows it's one big fucking joke, if you pardon my French. And of course at the end he basically described us as a movie. That's what we are. Oh man, our whole life's just a movie. So I personally don't think it is, but at times it can feel like that with the world that they have created, this society that we live in. It can be quite grim, but we keep our heads up and we fight on a day at a time, and we never give up. No chance. We never bend. We never break. And we will never, at no point, give in to any of their tyranny. None whatsoever. So yeah, I think we'll wrap it up now. That's kind of a beginner's insight into the metaverse, and a couple of my opinions mixed in, which of course I'm no expert on anything, so make of that what you wish. But they're pushing it now, big time. Hence Meta. And why do you think they made Facebook so big? They wanted everyone on it. They want everyone switched over to the metaverse where they can go and get a job. Think how many people will jump to that chance when they can't get a fucking job in the real world anyway. Yeah, you can get one on Metaverse making shoes for Nike. They don't use the wee Indian guys anymore, or the Chinese sweatshops. They've got dudes on online making them virtually. So people are going to snap it up. They'll make money. That is one of the key ways that they push things forward. They have these incentives, usually money, throwing it at any tentacle of the agenda. Even when we touched on overpopulation, that's what they used then as well. Incentives. Right? They would offer up money, especially in Asian nations, for sterilisation. We never touched on this story then, but I was meant to, so I do apologise. But in terms of, I think it was in India, there was a community. All these Indian communities had quotas that they had to meet, otherwise they wouldn't get the money. So they got given set quotas on sterilisation numbers, and if they never hit the quota target, no money. And what they used to do is basically force them into it. And one of the tricks that they had was cutting off their electricity and also their water supply to the whole fucking community until the quota got met. The quota set by the World Bank. Shit you not. You'd think I was making it up, but I'm fucking not. It was set by the World Bank, and of course the American government helped out. There was I think it was a recorded phone call between, was it Reagan? I think it might have been Reagan and another official, and it was in regards to Indian aid, and the president had said, look, I'm not going to give them aid unless they meet their quotas on population control, right? So until they done that, they never got any money. Again, this is how they push it through. And yeah, I guess the things like sterilisation is a form of depopulation. Unfortunately, depopulation is kind of the least of our worries at the moment. It's nothing new. They've been depopulating the world for decades, but they're now using different forms of it. Without a shadow of a doubt, if I got into that, boom, the channel would be gone. I'd be deleted. I'm on 2 strikes as it is. So yeah, hopefully we covered some interesting bits tonight, and we will get back into it again. So there will be a kind of part 2 to this metaverse, because it ain't going away by the looks of it. So good evening to Scotty, good to see you, and thank you for the comments as well. Yeah, that's what they've done, without a doubt. Yeah, they've basically roped people in, and people are there addicted to it big time. I mean, look at the gaming world. Fucking hell, people live in that. They practically, it's there already. It's all set up, waiting in the wings. How fitting, right? But yeah, I think you're absolutely on the money. They get them hooked on it. Again, look at Facebook. Look at how many people they got into it. I remember when I first went onto Facebook, I think it was when it first came about. And I said no to begin with. I thought, no thanks, that's not for me. But as a single lad at the time, and I remember my mate Liam, God rest him, he's not here today. But my good friend Liam, he kind of had a word in my ear, and he said, look, so-and-so's on it, and this person's on it. You can speak to them. And that was it. I was on it that very day, created an account. So that was the only reason I got on it. But it's turned into a monster even before the metaverse, and now it's evolving again, and they don't even hide that fact. But this is where they want to take the future, not just their company. They want that to be people's world, unfortunately. So yeah, I think you're on the money with that one. Remember, and get subscribed as well to send some. Yeah, it is quite brutal, to be honest. But hey, we never give up. And to be frank, we've kind of only scratched the surface in terms of how bad it could get. I mean, you might think, oh, hey, it's virtual reality, don't be stupid, it can't do anything. It's not really what it can do, it's what people do with it. It's how we end up interacting with it. What will it become? What will we become? Not us personally, but as humanity. So, I mean, it doesn't frighten me. I kind of find it intriguing, but it does worry me as well. It's not a future that I want, but they're rolling it out big time. And hello to Plain Steve, good to have you. Hopefully we'll get an open panel, right? Yeah, Roadblocks, Fortnite, there you go. Look at how big they are as well. They're massive, right? I think Fortnite is one of the biggest going. I couldn't even tell you what it's about, but there you go, it's huge. Bri as well, good to have you. Many thanks for the comments. And John, good to have you in the hood tonight. Scotty, JP, great stuff, always a pleasure. Frank, top man, thank you as well for all your kind emails, much appreciated. Solatech, or is it Solatech? We'll go with Solatech, right? Let's go with that. Lynn as well, a pleasure to have you, my American friend. I'll maybe catch up with you in the chat. Hopefully I never missed anyone. John as well. But we will kind of wrap it up. Friday, NASA. Oh man, honestly, I can't help but laugh when I'm looking into NASA. I try not to laugh at them, but oh man, it's so comical. And of course they do nothing but lie. It's lie after lie after lie. The moon by 2016. The moon by 2017. The moon by 2021. Or the moon by 2025. It'll go on and on and on like the never-ending story. Construction on the moon by 2016. I think that's the biggest one that cracked me up. And it shows you a video. What's the word? Reconstruction of them doing construction on the moon. I shit you not. Oh man, that's about as close as they're going to get to construction on the moon, in my opinion. But there you go. We will get into NASA and a few of the things that they get up to. It'll be quite interesting. So look out for it. Friday, I reckon. Maybe about the same time, right? So yeah, it's been great having everyone in. And a pleasure, yeah, to have you here, Lynn. And Sensum, Brian, and everyone else. Great stuff. I didn't manage as good as I would want to in terms of catching up with comments, but I am about quite a lot. And I've got no hesitation in catching up with anyone if they want to have a word or if they have anything to share, right? Feel free. I don't hide myself away. I don't hide my identity or anything like that. Not that I plaster it everywhere, but I am a genuine guy. I'm not a bot, as someone once claimed, which I thought was quite comical. But yeah, I am here in full bot form, winding it down. So yeah, Mad Fox as well. Great to have you in the hood. And send some, Lynn. And Bry, where are we? There you go. Frank, Plain Steve as well. Lots of people. So I guess that's good. We've got a great community. We really have, honestly. And the live streams that I do are basically for the people that are already here. I don't even really make them to be shared or anything like that. It is basically for my subscribers, I guess, entertainment, and hopefully some information in it as well. And you get to see my ugly face. Right, let's get rid of that quickly. There we go. It's gone. Phew. Quickly, change the channel. Does anyone know what that's from? That quote. It's from the movie Street Fighter. Oh man, there's a bomb coming on a lorry, and they can see it on the CCTV camera, and it's going to hit the building that they're in. And the guy says, quickly, change the channel. Hoping that's going to stop it, right? Of course it wouldn't. That was Street Fighter. When did that come out? Fucking Jesus. 1995, 1997 maybe? I don't know. Yes, Scott's Armour as well. I can't seem to find a comment, but make sure you check out Scott's Armour's channel if not already. Predictions for 2022. Wow. Where do you start? The only thing I would really say is that things could heat up in more ways than one. I think this James Webb telescope, or whatever it is, I think there could be more to come from that. Maybe even in the next few months, so look out for it. I think there could be quite a lot of change in terms of the weather as well. Not by accident, of course, right? So yeah, let me know what your predictions are for the year to come. Alien invasion, that's usually on the cards. I don't think we're there yet, but I think the discovery of ET, or what they call ET life, is not far away. Especially with the James Webb telescope. We might get into this telescope as well on Friday, and the guy James Webb, an interesting character. If we've got the time, but it'll be mainly about NASA, so yeah, why not, I guess, right? So yeah, I think we'll wrap it up, and I'll catch you all on Friday, right? And remember, as always, keep your eyes peeled, keep your guard up, don't let it down. I'm not saying, hey, be paranoid, but just keep your wits about you when you're out and about. Yeah, look after one another, especially those that are close to you. When shit hits the fan, they will likely be the only people that you've got, right? So treat them well, look out for them, and you might reap the reward of that in the future, because yeah, stuff might heat up. It is bad at the moment, but it could be a lot worse, let's face it. So we continue to fight, right? And always remember, whatever you do, do not comply. And that is about it. Bye-bye.
majors, pipe majors, please make sure your bands are ready, formed up for tent 6 outside.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. A candy-colored clown they call the Sandman tiptoes to my room every night just to sprinkle stardust and to whisper, go to sleep, everything is all right. I close my eyes, then I drift away into the magic night. I softly say a silent prayer like dreamers do. Then I fall asleep to dream my dreams of you. In dreams I walk with you. In dreams I talk to you. In dreams you're mine. All the time we're together. In dreams, but just before the dawn, I awake and find you gone. I can't help it, I can't help it if I cry. I remember that you said